Hello everyone. So today we are studying some of the horticulture questions. Okay. So let me tell first brief about horticulture questions. See, the horticulture question is one of the most difficult portion uh, to prepare. Why it is because we don't have particular source. No more than source. The thing is the questions. Okay. Questions can be very diverse. For example, in the syllabus they have given the package of practices of vegetables, okay, plantation crops, fruits, okay, then these things like this. So see, vegetables means there are 20, 30 vegetables, important only, like fruit, 10 vegetables, plantation around 10, flowers around 10. So it is not humanly possible to remember around 50 to 70 package of practices and also different methodologies, important uh, cultivation practices are there. So all these things are not very easily possible. So what we should do is just prepare some important ones, and if they come, we need to try to do. Otherwise, if we have time, we can go for all the crops and the all the practices. But generally, try to fix yourself to important questions. Seeing the question papers, you would know. See now the principles of preservation. So the first is prevention or delay of microbial decomposition of food. Okay. I didn't tell about the question. Huh? Describe the principles of fruit and vegetable preservation. So this is a question on fruit and vegetable preservation. How to preserve these fruits and vegetables through different techniques. Okay, what are the principles? So they ask principles. This is important. Now they have not asked from past few years, so you may expect this question. Okay, only important question I will discuss. So there are three major principles. The first is the prevention or delay of microbial decomposition of food. Three things you should remember. Like one is microbial. Okay, because microbes can be involved in decomposition. How to prevent it? And then is self decomposition. Okay, here you have self decomposition, and third you have damage by other agents. Okay, and we have damage by other also. Okay, so these three are the most important. So what happens is how we need it is preserved and how what are the techniques is by keeping out of microorganisms. Okay, that is called asepsis. And removal of microorganisms. That is through filtration, like when you filter some things. Okay, when you're preparing the different items, like maybe in your labs you would have prepared like wine making. Okay, or jam making, jelly. So we all do these processes so that we prevent the microorganisms by hindering the growth and activity of microorganisms. Okay, like temperature, drying, all these things we should use. Second is prevention of delay of self-decomposition of food. Another method is the food produce or the fruit will be there, but how do we make it so that it will not decompose easily? Self-decomposition. Okay, because whatever the enzymes present in the fruit that can also act as an agent for decomposition. Okay, it is all natural process. So how do we reduce that? So by destruction or inactivation of food enzymes. Okay, within the by blanching or boiling, we just need to give mild heat to vegetables. Okay, before canning and freezing, we do this procedure to prevent self decomposition. Light heating before that. Okay, is carried out by dipping the food in boiling water or exposing to heat. Okay. Second, by prevention or delay of purely chemical reactions. Use of antioxidants to prevent oxidation. So we use some chemical agents also, like you would be knowing about the butyl hydroxyl anisole, okay, or butyl hydroxyl toluene. All these things are utilized. Okay, why it is utilized? Because the food containing this oil, fat, they turn rancid. You would have seen rancidity. Okay, when you keep the food products outside for some time, oil and all, they will become rancid and they become unfit. So we will use these some chemicals, one or two you can remember. And third most important is like any damage from outside, like insect, animal, mechanical, fumigants or something like that, we should use to prevent it, like cushioning and packaging and other features. Okay, these are the three principles and it's important. So use of fumigants in dried fruits, cereals, check the damage caused by insects. So wrapping of fruits we should do, providing cushioning strays Okay, like when you would have seen in the packing, cushioning trays will be there to prevent the damage. Okay, in Apple and all you would have seen this. In shops also they keep it in an pouch. Okay. Next important is the describe the preservation methods of important foods. These two are important with respect to the question on preservation. Okay. So there are two main basic methods. One is bacteriostatic method and bactericidal method. Okay. So in case of bacteriostatic method, in this method, the environmental conditions are changed to prevent the growth of microorganisms, such as called bacteriostic. Okay. What are the different methodologies for preventing the bacterial infection? Okay. So first is drying of foods. Drying is just like removal of moisture from the food to certain level. Okay, we need to reduce, like you know, the 10 to 12 percentage we usually use moisture for rice and wheat and all. Okay, because in this methodology we are changing the environment. Okay, so that the growth of microorganisms can be prevented. That's why. So what we do, like application of heat, or we use some salt or sugar or things like that. Next is use of chemical preservative. So a chemical preservative of two types, class 1 preservative and class 2 preservative. Common salt, sugar, dextrose species, vinegar, ascorbic acid. Okay. Then class 2 we have benzoic acid. All these things are utilized. Okay. But in general, you should remember among the class 2 preservative, only this KMS and sodium benzoate are usually used in case of fruits. Okay. So this you should remember. Please remember. Even if you don't remember other point, this point you should remember. Okay, here next is bactericidal methods. Okay, what we do here is food is exposed to higher temperature, and higher temperature helps in killing of microorganism and coagulation of the proteins inside the microorganism. Okay, so it helps in inactivation of enzyme, which can lead to the decomposition or attack. Also, we use here moist heat to suppress it. Okay, at low temperature, like high temperature is required than the high pH. High temperature can be employed by following methods. You know about this pasteurization, boiling, and canning. Okay, just if you want to recap, this method may be something little bit confusing for you. That's why I'm just giving you a recap. So there are two methods. One is bacteriostatic and bactericidal. Okay, in bacteriostatic, static means stop, uh, standing state. Okay, static. The environmental conditions are to change the prevent the growth of microorganisms. Okay, such conditions are called bacteriostatic. Bacteriostatic means the environmental conditions which you are providing to the fruit or the which will prevent the bacterial infection. So environmental condition means if you are preserving in chemical like chemical preservatives, if you are drying the food, okay, so those things will come. Another is bactericidal. Okay, here food is exposed to higher temperature, and by that you are killing the microorganism or coagulating the protein. Coagulation means that protein will become non-functional. Okay, so we do these techniques, pasteurization, boiling, canning, all these things. I'm not going in detail. Okay, if you're reading this first time, maybe you may get some doubt because I can't go in detail because this is rapid revision and I have to take care of everyone. Okay, so just remember these points. If you're not uh, properly able to gauge it, just remember these parts. That would be sufficient. Another question, this is repeatedly 18 and 20 is formal and informal garden. Okay, here you can see how informal garden looks like. Okay, and you can see the formal garden, which is very planned. Here you can see how it is. What are the features we'll see, but just see for yourself. It is like natural one. Okay, but this is bit artificial. That is what you can go gauge at the first instant. So garden examples in formal are not gardens, versailles, okay, and other informal gardens. We have cottage gardens And there is strict symmetry. Here you can see there is very symmetrical. Okay, but in informal it will be not symmetrical. There will be a central axis. Here there will not be any central axis. And here geometrical shapes will be there, like square, triangle, circle, all these things. But here nothing like that, irregular. And also either side of the central axis exactly the same to balance. Here you can see how they are balanced. Here also same, here also same, here also same. Something like that will be there. But here it will not be like that. Just for the viewpoint it will be done and different this. Okay. Straight line for paths and borders. Here you can see how we have very straight line and all. But in informal that will not be there. Okay. Shrubs and trees have strong forms. Okay. Here they are all loose and natural looking, and often used in public garden spaces. In private and personal space we use informal. Okay, then structure of the design is clear, but it may not be clear. Clipped evergreen hedges, okay, will be there, and species names are there. If possible you can remember. And bleached trees will be there. Here trees are in natural form. Okay, then other important things I will tell you. See here, clean lines like the stones, bricks, all this will be there. Here, just rustic fences and natural fences or gravels and these stones will be there. Okay. Other important is artificial looking. This is natural looking. Okay. And the topography is flat and like the terraces and all. This may be undulating, something like this. Okay. Here also this is just important things. Remember. Next, most important is importance of pinching in quality production of carnation. So first let me show you what is pinching. Pinching means this top region which we are okay pinching off. Okay, this I will just explain, but just see how pinching is done. So like pinching is an important operation in the successful production of quality carnation. Okay, wherein we are removing the apical shoot or to break the apical dormancy. Here the apical shoot you can see is broken. Pitching helps to ensure maximum number as well as quality of flowers. Okay, it is essential for the standards and should be done approximately 3 to 4 weeks after planting. Okay, at 6 pairs of leaves to allow, because why we do this pinching? So when we do this pinching, there will be lateral growth. Okay, pinching is a significant function in carnation, which entails removing bud head of the main stem from an early phase. This permits side shoots to grow. Okay, it will lead to side shoot formation. So usually it is done in the morning. Okay, so we have three different types: single, pinch and half, and double pinching. So here you can see single pinching, 1.5 pinching, double pinching. So in case of single pinching, the top of the main or leader shoot is removed, leaving 5 pairs of leaves. From this, 4 to 6 lateral shoots will develop. So here you can see 5 are left, and then slowly the lateral shoots will develop, like single pinch. In 1.5 pinching is followed to regulate the supply of flowers throughout the year. So here it involves the removal of the main stem tip to include 4 to 5 lateral shoots. Again, we will have here 4 to 5 lateral shoots we want to develop. Okay. When the lateral shoots develop 5 to 6 pair of leaves, again half the number of the lateral shoots is pinched.